Vocabio. Master English your way.
That's a year, and this is roughly where the number has hovered, and it is indicative of what we are seeing in other.
Sitting there with my pen hovering over the workbook because I couldn't think of whose name to write down.
At the moment, there are 5 parties hovering between 15% and the vote and upwards.
Focus. Imagine hovering just a few feet above the
Challenger's crew congratulate themselves on a job well done. It seems to
ultrasound appointment when her obstetrician congratulated her on having 2 boys.
But he would have been congratulating Putin, his new best friend, and saying, what a great victory.
Showing, congratulating you. I'm showing the people on the video. The podcast won't be able to hear this, but
and that the loser will congratulate the winner. And that goes for the losing side.
Demographic change. Those things will sharpen. So if we don't begin to answer the
quill into an inkwell and sharpen the quill tip, we now have the ability to continue
schools. So I think it's been a sharpening of our understanding of where change is most meaningful.
Provocation, and it sort of sharpened the issue. And I think that in the
every day, you have to sharpen your knife. You have to.
Some have been emigrated. Are they going to vote? Some have been moved because of occupation.
And an anniversary of my immigrating here to the U.S.
In some cases, these anti-communist emigrate groups were so infiltrated by the
on Earth.
Yes, basically that was the problem. The Jews couldn't emigrate.
What about your great friends in Britain?
My loving parents emigrated to the United States from India.
That one can identify with that comparison.
I wonder, Neil, how much
the interviews that identify Sam Bankman-Fried as possibly very gifted.
And I think you label that and you identify that really well. Can you talk about that fear?
Or 3 that have been identified, and that's defense and defense costs. You mentioned the
families, because you can actually now identify a family at risk for prostate or other malignancies.
To pretend that we can know where we stand.
We don't just try to ignore them and pretend they're not there. And so there's a strong element of that going on here as well.
War has passed, and I'm just not sure what that portends, but it's a great question.
The minority. And I don't think anyone would pretend that the U.S. is...
Trick works is actually pretty simple. You pretend like you care about something other than profit and power.
The intersection between, say, organized crime and intelligence agencies.
All the more in Ukraine, obviously, was organized and pre-orchestrated by Stalin.
Every trimester, the company organized like training sessions to update and
discipline. Those who are best organized will be winnowed again and again.
And they can't communicate, and they're not reorganizing themselves fast enough to keep up with the world outside the.
And within government, lawyers ascend in importance as it ascends to rival the United States, as it has been doing.
Those young people ascended into corporate America, ascended into...
Months ago, there was Space Shuttle Challenger ascending into orbit. Now, all...
And you are actually ascending away from them. And that is why I think it's so important.
A permanent team, or is it sort of a loose association of people who come in and out for different investigations?
If you remember, it was this loose hacking collective.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it seems so...
And that means kids have been let loose and their parents are trying to find some fun outings.
Trump cared enough about the government to let him loose in it. And Trump cared about
Northern Ireland as a result of playing fast and loose with the Good Friday Agreement. But if we've got Brino...
for Joe Biden, even if he wants to deliver on. They're asking, in effect, for reparations for the last 4 years.
William Nordhaus has said of entrepreneurs who deliver similar transformative innovation. Their riches
actually deliver. And until it does that with confidence,
that as the price to succeed and deliver that what's next, whether that
yes to something, then you've got to, I feel I've got to deliver on that. So whether it's, okay, I've agreed, I'm going to go and get these
or starting a business, writing a book, raising children. I find raising children.
They go to the Italian allies and half-citizens and raise new armies. So how do you beat them? He can never.
He's now on a mission to raise awareness of testing and the importance of physical exercise to support.
5 years ago, lots of people were raising money because anyone could create a token. And now, hey, we're at a position.
Because most people in startups, they build a company and they raise money, right? And they hire people and then they...
On Earth. I knew if our light pollution filters could work here, they could work.
President Macron to not filter what was coming out of the assembly, that would be...
As firms have, I think, these tests do not filter for any kind of social ability. And this is a person who...
Things that have like Instagram or TikTok filters or Photoshop versus fully AI-generated images.
Yes, but it's... Filter number one, does it offer a new political...
You know, it's a biography of 3 generations of a family, but the family did not cooperate with me, and in fact, has been threatening to sue me.
But you know, obviously, we cooperate with our friends in the EU in all kinds of ways through.
Adults able to communicate and cooperate in new ways, whether constructive.
In getting these ethnic groups to cooperate, even up until now, that paints a
likely to cooperate. Toby also understands
through personally what he could transfer in his calm demeanor and his...
It's a phrase for things like waste transfer stations and power plants and things that bring a lot of pollution.
Or the transfer of energy as needed within the US.
Pedro, it's so per annum. We have to make major transfers. Oh, and on top of that, we have to stop.
If I transfer gut bacteria from an overweight twin.
Industry really needs right now. Iberdrola has published, I would say, fairly ambitious, but rightly ambitious.
Earlier, when he published that essay on how Ukraine was an artificial...
Obviously. And they have continued to publish a lot of fascinating AI research on this.
We did a report which we published just recently called Feeding Britain from the Ground Up.
Before, you know, it was even published, I think there was definitely like a section of people.
And in the case of life imitating a joke, in recent years, Russian police have arrested...
Recognizable, even if they're not exactly Caesar, and they're imitated and appropriated, into the modern period.
Being intersectional and not trying to imitate a European arc.
Whether or not they're consciously imitating Putin, take on this new model of strongman.
Maybe the Americans will work out how they did it and imitate it. It doesn't seem to me at all implausible.
Metaphor. They're not machines. Once again, I apologize. We won't have the time to get into this, but they have every character.
This idea of portraiturance.
You're all apologizing for speaking when that's exactly what we brought you for.
So I have a text, and I apologize, or at least to myself, that I can't follow through my...
As well. I should apologise right now if by any chance you catch me snuffling
onto them, and now I think they've apologised for Little Britain, but I don't think they've specifically apologised.
It's some of the technology that how Huawei can provide. So that is also a constraint when you decide, do you have...
Be expected from complying with agreements. Either way, norms of reciprocity could be...
Under these laws. However, for me, it's not about complying with the law. It is about becoming more inclusive.
Adding things to us, well, it's all right, so long as you comply with whatever the rules we have are. That's ludicrous. You wouldn't...
Share your creativity. You are tacitly complying with your own replacement?
Thin social welfare state compared to Europe, but at least the chance to rise.
Alacrity, shall we say. I think my friend compared it to an Indian wedding reception in its...
We weren't in a position to compare. That's just how we lived.
Method of development.
And yet when you compare and contrast the US and China, whether it's high-speed rail or highway to...
They'll go to a commissioner and the commissioner will compare their story to what's there.
Windows systems that are used to monitor the speed and pressure of these systems.
In humanitarian monitoring, in military culture, in political.
And I looked at that monitor over there, and I did not know what I was.
And it's not encrypted, and people can and do monitor what is said in private in China, and people get in trouble.
Even if people aren't more monitored than before, they at least feel that they're being more monitored.
Vocabio, available in Google Play. Download, discover, improve your English.